Hello. From Wonder Media Network, I'm Jenny Kaplan, and this is Womanica. For the past 6 years, we've been telling the stories of women you may or may not know about, but definitely should. This month, we're bringing back our favorite Womanica episodes from across the back catalog. These are women across centuries and around the world who made their mark. With that, here's one of our favorite episodes.
Hey y'all, I'm Erin Haynes. I'm the editor-at-large for the 19th News, a nonprofit newsroom reporting on gender, politics, and policy. I'm also the host of a brand new weekly podcast from the 19th News and Wonder Media Network called The Amendment. Each week, we're bringing you a conversation about gender, politics, and the unfinished work of American democracy. Our very first episode features my dear friend and Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist, Nicole Hannah-Jones. It's out now, so please go listen and follow the show. On top of all of this, I'm your guest host for this month of Womanica. This Black History Month, we're talking about revolutionaries, the Black women who led struggles for liberation from violent governments, colonial rulers, and enslavers. These women had the courage to imagine radically different worlds, and they used their power to try and pull those worlds into view. Today, we're talking about an activist often overlooked in Dominican history. This poor Black farmer was villainized in her lifetime, but fought tirelessly to save farmers from an illegal and violent land grab. Please welcome Mamá Tingó. Mamá Tingó was born Florinda Soriano Munoz on November 8, 1921, in Villa Maya in the Dominican Republic. She came from a poor, working-class background and didn't have any formal schooling. Her friends nicknamed her Mamá Tingó because of her caring maternal nature. In 1951, she married another farmer named Felipe. The new couple inherited land from Felipe's father in the Hato Viejo region and ran a small farm to support themselves and their son. Then, in 1974, trouble struck. A wealthy landowner named Pablo Diaz Hernandez claimed ownership of the land that Mamá Tingó and other neighboring farmers had been farming for half a century, the only source of income for 350 families. Hernandez promptly started clearing the land. His claim was bunk, but fighting back was risky. Hernandez had institutional power and wealth. Mamá Tingó and the other farmers were poor and Black, overwhelmingly ignored or victimized by the government. Resistance to the land grab was met with swift violence. Saving their farms seemed hopeless. But Mamá Tingó was determined to keep her land and livelihood. She joined the Federation of Christian Agriculture Leagues and started organizing for the rights of her fellow farmers. She quickly became a leader within the group. She and other farmers met to discuss how to stop the land grab and support each other through the financial strain it had caused. She also organized public protests against Hernandez. The government of the Dominican Republic tried to paint her as a dangerous Black radical to discredit the movement, attacking her impoverished background and lack of education. But Mamá Tingó kept pushing. Eventually, she and her husband got a meeting with the president of the Dominican Republic to ask him for his support. He promised them he would make sure that the land in dispute was divided fairly among the 350 families who depended on it. But he didn't keep his word, and a plan failed to materialize. So the farmers kept making noise about the land grab, and finally a hearing was scheduled for November of 1974. But the day of the hearing, Mamá Tingó was missing from the courtroom. She'd heard that her pigs had gotten loose and raced back to her farm to round them back up. But it was a trap. A man hired by Hernandez was lying in wait, armed with a gun. When Mamá Tingó showed up, he fired twice, shooting her. She tried to defend herself with a machete, but her injuries were too serious. She died without ever making it to court. She was 52 years old. As the decades have passed, Mamá Tingó's fierce advocacy and bravery have often gone unacknowledged in Dominican history. As a poor Black woman, her contributions to farmers' rights have been overlooked in the dominant narratives of her country's history. But her organizing work helped lay the groundwork for other farmers to continue to fight for their rights after her assassination. Today, a statue of Mamá Tingó stands in the town of Monte Plata to honor her legacy as an activist.
Thank you for listening to this best of episode of Womanica. For more information, find us on Facebook and Instagram at Womanica Podcast. Special thanks to Liz Kaplan, my favorite sister and co-creator. Join us tomorrow for another one of our favorite episodes. Talk to you then.